So I've gotten a lot of questions about what is partner engineering, what's developer relations, developer advocacy. So I think today I want to kind of like talk about my position currently and just kind of answer this question because I've definitely gotten it a lot. We can also just kind of like look at the job description online for partner engineering and like kind of see how it stacks up with my first 3 months of experience. All right, so we have a couple of different positions open currently and within developer relations. There's content writer, advocate, and then partner engineer. So we'll just do like remote. So basically, like the main call to action is to like work with Slack's platform partners. So that's like literally the first sentence in the actual job description, which I do think is very true. A big part of the job is to kind of like help partners whenever they have like basically from the start of their development lifecycle all the way till they send their app to the app store, the Slack's app store. So that's kind of like a main part of the job. Working closely with like product managers, so PMs, and then also like business development. Like I think that's key part of the role. I think at like my previous job at IBM, I like didn't really do that, but yeah, this role in specific, I think is a lot more cross-functional in that way, where we're a little bit tighter with the PM team, and then also the business development team, and then also the dev team as well, to kind of give them feedback. Defining integration use cases, yes. So our team advocates for the partner ecosystem's needs internally. So yes, so basically like a big part of the role is to take all the feedback that the partners give us and to help incorporate that in the product. So I think there is a lot of influence, especially compared to my previous role. I think as a partner engineer at Slack, you have a lot more like influence into where the product is going. A way to think about it, it's a lot of times like developer relations can be thought of as like outreach. So like basically everything's like the product's done, the features are done, and then like developer relations will just go talk about it. Whereas I feel like as in the partner engineer role, we're way earlier on in the product development lifecycle, and we don't do any of that outreach stuff. Like we're just helping partners use the new features and then like giving the feedback back to the teams and stuff like that. So I think way less outreach, like we don't do that at all. Like some of our developer relations team do that, but like not the partner engineers. So yeah, it says like what are you going to be doing? The first bullet point that it says work with and directly support our partners while they craft the best experiences in Slack. Like yes, that makes sense. The second is be a specialist in Slack's platform capabilities and app design patterns. Like for sure, like that is extremely key to being doing well in this role. Support our partners at scale by creating code samples, webinars, documentation, and contributing to our team's technical tool set. Yes, for sure. So I've been working on like an SDK for the partners, and then contributing to documentation based on like partner feedback and things like that. Craft presentations and work with partners to prepare for go-to-market launches. I have not experienced that at all. So completely not. I mean, maybe I will, but I don't think many people do that within partner engineering that I've seen at least. Collaborate with multifunctional teams within Slack to run beta programs for new features. Yes, for sure. Lead team level and multifunctional initiatives and projects. Yes, for sure. So like definitely like running workshops for our partners and things like that. Like we're gonna have to do stuff like that. What you should have is 3+ years of partner sales engineering, software engineering, product management, developer advocacy related experience. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's kind of like the main thing. So like, I completely agree. Having like the biggest things is like knowing Slack's features and then helping partners debug it. So it gets pretty tricky, especially like once they're in production and they have like a bunch of different apps running. And you can view the logs for the API calls and you're trying to debug and figure out what's wrong. So like you need a lot of knowledge there. My experience has been very interesting. Like, so I came kind of from like the open source engineering world at IBM. I did a lot of code samples, like everything open source. This is very different. So like I definitely wanted a different experience and I'm really happy that I got this experience under my belt. So like this experience is very different because I'm like, speaking to so many partners and like kind of helping debug their issues. I feel like there is definitely like a lot more impact, I would say, because I'm like specifically unblocking people and really helping them out through their development lifecycle. I haven't gotten the chance to go from like, taking a partner from all the way from like ideation zero to like build and submit the app. I haven't done that yet, but I'm sure I will, like, as I keep staying in this position. But it definitely has been a lot more impactful, and it's like easier to see the impact in that way. It's a much more like direct impact thing. I will say it is a lot more reactive. So it's a little bit harder to like kind of like plan my schedule, because I don't know when partners are gonna run into issues, and like it kind of comes in waves, and then sometimes they're fine, and like I'm not responding, or I'm kind of working on other things. So it's very different. Whereas like at IBM, I just had like a project, I had 2 weeks to do it, and I could set my schedule, really grind on these 3 days, and then the other 2 days just kind of take it easy. I can't really do that here because it's much more reactive. Like I have to react and like be there for the partners when they need me. So it's like kind of based on them. So just very different, but really cool to get both of that experience, like both of those experiences. I feel like this is like a role where you do create a lot of relationships, which is great. So it's like kind of working on that side of my skill set. So yeah, that's kind of like the main role of partner engineering. A lot of it is like running sample Slack apps and like trying to recreate what they're going through, and a lot of it is like API inputs and outputs, and like figuring out parameters, and like ensuring that they're using the API correctly, and then like linking API calls like in a like succinct and efficient way. So it's like it's not super deep in the technical like stack, but it is super interesting, because you're solving like problems and unblocking people, and getting a lot of like API exposure. So yeah, that's kind of like how I see my role, and I've been getting questions on LinkedIn like, what do partner engineers do, and things like that. So this is kind of like why I created this video. I hope you found this useful. Thanks.